Today I'm going to be sharing with you my gluten-free vegan chocolate chip banana bread recipe. For this recipe you are going to need really ripe bananas, flax meal, maple syrup, baking soda, baking powder, vanilla, oat flour, walnuts, and dairy-free chocolate chips. Oh, and a little bit of water. Let's get into it. To start with, I preheat the oven to 375 degrees. I add 2 tablespoons of flax, ground flax that is, and 5 tablespoons of water, which I'm going to go do over the sink. Then I just give this a good stir, and I'm going to set it aside to kind of come together while I do the next step. Then I have my mixing bowl, which I'm going to add 1, 2, and 3 really ripe bananas too. Then I'm just going to mash these up really well. So yeah, I don't know if you guys can see any of that, but it's mushy. It's not like totally pureed. There's still chunks of banana. You can mush it up more if you want, but I don't mind some extra chunks. Then to that, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Baking soda, baking powder, and vanilla. Then again, I'm going to give that a stir. Then to that, I'm going to add 1/2 cup of maple syrup. And there it goes. And stir again. Oh, and I should have actually mixed in the flax at that same time, but it doesn't really matter. It's all going in. So here's the flax egg. You could probably use another egg replacer if you want, but this is what I like to use. And I haven't tried any others, so can't guarantee that they'll all work exactly the same. Mixing in the flax egg, I'm really glad I didn't forget that part, because I almost did. Then I'm going to add in 1 1/4 cup of oat flour, 5/4, so we need 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5/4, so 1 1/4. Then for the last 2 ingredients, they are optional, but I'm adding a handful of walnuts, which after I grab my handful, I just break it up into smaller pieces. You can of course leave this out if you have a problem with walnuts. You could do another kind of nut. I've only done walnut myself, but I'm sure almonds or pecans or even cashews would probably be good in it. And last but certainly not least, a handful, it's hard to show that without dropping them, of dairy-free, dairy-free chocolate chips. Again, this is optional, but we like chocolate chips in ours. So I just mix all 3 of those last ingredients in together. The flour, the chocolate chips, and the walnuts. And I have made this recipe with whole wheat flour. So if you're not wanting a gluten-free bread, if you don't need it to be that way, or you just don't feel like it, then you may use regular flour. This is my first time doing it with the oat flour, and as I've found in some gluten-free recipes, I feel like it needs a little more flour, so I'm actually going to be adding another 1/4 cup of oat flour. So there we go. If you're doing this gluten-free, I'd say go with 1 1/2, or if you're using regular whole wheat or just white flour, then 1 1/4 should do it. That looks about right. Alrighty. So personally, I have this non-stick, just the regular loaf-sized pan. So I don't need to oil it at all, but if you're using a glass one, a little bit of oil might be helpful, or lining it with parchment paper or whatever. But yeah, like most breads, I'm just gonna pour this in. And then into the oven it will go for 55 minutes. While that's baking, I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm going to be leaving the full instructions and amounts and everything down below, so you can just read over that if you want to try out this recipe. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I don't usually do recipe videos, but this is a new one I came up with recently because we had an abundance of overripe bananas and already had a ton frozen, so I thought I'd share it with you. I hope you guys have enjoyed it, and let me know if you want more recipe videos. They're a little awkward for me to film, but I'm trying to work with what I've got, and yeah, so let me know what you guys thought down below, and I'll be back soon with more videos. The final product looks fabulous. Can't wait to eat it later. It's my personal opinion that this goes super great with a cup of coffee in the morning, but if coffee's not your thing, I'm sure tea would be wonderful as well, or almond milk or soy milk or whatever your favorite plant milk is. If you guys try this out, let me know. Also, just wanted to add a quick note to say that for the oat flour, I know a lot of people don't, or maybe people know this, but I feel like people don't know that you can just take regular rolled oats and blend them in your blender and make oat flour. Just get them to where it's like powdery and floury, I guess. You can buy it at the store. I've never done that because it's just easier to blend it myself. I have a Ninja, but I feel like it's soft enough that most blenders could do the job. So that's your choice. Like I said, you can make this not gluten-free. I've done it with whole wheat flour in the past, and it's been super delicious. So just so you know.